I don't think that you should be a writer. In fact, I ask you to never write again.
Sorry, I take a lot of vitamins. The amount of medical research dollars, the amount of money donated to medical research that goes into keeping me alive, it's disgusting. Hi, my name is Carly. Welcome back to my channel. Uh-oh. I am so sorry to announce that I have read Lea Michele's memoir. I know. It exists, it's real, it's awful, it's insane, and I don't feel bad about talking about how awful this book is, because I feel like if I ran into Lea Michele on the street, she would agree. She's a very talented performer, the voice of an angel. I will also say that first season of Glee, she is an impeccable comedic actress. If I recall correctly, so in the final season of Glee, which is also pretty good, but Samantha Marie Ware plays a character on Glee. Very, very funny, very talented. And I feel like Lea Michele told her that she was gonna shit in her wig, which is absolutely batshit fucking crazy. So I don't necessarily feel bad about using this video as a platform to roast Lea Michele. I just want to talk about her book. I read it in one night. It's around 300 pages. It was published, I think, in 2014. It was when Glee was still in its 5th season. Like she was 28 when she wrote this memoir. And this is my favorite kind of celebrity occurrence, when they decide to write a memoir and their life is still happening. This is just a full memoir about Lea Michele's life that stops at the age of 28, and it's absolutely mind-boggling. It is clear she has no interest in writing. I would not be surprised if this was ghost-written. It is written like a child, like it's written for children. Also, there are the ugliest pictures. I was subjected to this monstrosity, for which I will be seeking damages. I think that the actual content of this book maxed out around maybe 70 pages. Like there was actually 70 pages of writing.
Hey, I thought we'd just take a quick break from this week's video and talk about the video's sponsor, Birch Living. Birch is a premium mattress in the box company. They make mattresses and sleep products that are stylish, comfortable, and environmentally conscious. Their non-toxic mattresses are crafted with organic and natural materials that are ethically and sustainably sourced, and their mattresses are made in America. They are created with breathability, cooling, and lumbar support in mind. So there's targeted like zone lumbar, like your back support, and there's also increased airflow so you don't get hot while you're sleeping. Unlike synthetic mattresses, the wool in Birch mattresses makes it hypoallergenic, which is great for me because I'm allergic to most unnatural or synthetic fibers or materials. So it's really nice if you have sensitive skin like me. Also, this makes it mildew resistant and allergen resistant. Also, Birch works with ethical partners to ensure that they adhere to strict social, environmental, and economical standards, which basically means they're a conscious company. I also just love that I can reduce my footprint by having a mattress that is ethically sourced and made of natural materials. Because having an 100% non-toxic mattress helps you be environmentally friendly. I am 5'1", I have no upper body strength, and it's very easy to set up. I was able to set up this mattress entirely on my own, which is bananas. If you're worried about buying a mattress without trying it out, Birch offers an 100-day sleep trial as well as a 25-year warranty. So you basically get 3 months to sleep on the mattress, and if you don't like it, you can return it for a full refund. The mattress comes rolled up in a box, super easy to unpack, and if you live in the United States, it gets delivered to your door for free. Also, every mattress comes with 2 of Birch's Eco Rest pillows, which are made from recycled plastic water bottles. Also, my mattress from Birch has their topper, which just makes it more plush. I really want to feel like I'm in a cocoon sleeping in a cloud. It's just, oh, it's so comfortable and soft. So if you can't tell, I love my Birch mattress. I'm sure you would too. Go to the link in my description or go to birchliving.com/uncarley to get $400 off your mattress and 2 of their Eco Rest pillows. Thank you so much to Birch Living for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into it.
The book in and of itself is called Brunette Ambition. No notes on the title. So we first start off with basically an introduction to Lea Michele as a person. As if anybody reading this book, it just picked it up. Like everybody who's reading this book is a diehard fan of Lea Michele, right? Like I can't imagine somebody reading this book if they didn't like her. It really is just like reminiscent of that era of like YouTuber books. And I don't think, YouTubers shouldn't write books. I don't think actors or performers shouldn't write books. But I do believe, hot take, that if you are not actually interested in writing a book, you shouldn't write a book. There are just so many books out there that are written by people who obviously don't actually give a fuck. They just want the money. It's just like painful to read because it's not interesting. And these people have lived pretty interesting lives where if you just add a little bit of humor, like I would love to know what's going on the set of Glee. I would love to know what it's like to be like a child star on Broadway. That's surely filled with like the most insane kinds of people in the world. Like that could be so funny and interesting because your experiences are unique. And instead, we just basically get rambling passages where it seems like Lea Michele is trying to convince you that she's amazing, that she's very happy, and that she deserves all the success she has. So the first chapter is basically talking about who she is, what her values are, and her family. This passage stuck out to me because it's absolutely insane. I never tried to put myself in a box or attempted to fit in because I really only knew how to play myself. I think it's because my parents instilled so much self-confidence in me and constantly reassured me that I was just as great as I was. See, and that really gives us a little insight into Lea Michele, I think, as a person. And by that I mean an overpraised child. A child with a little too much confidence. When she was 4, her parents decided to move her from the Bronx to New Jersey because they wanted to raise their child out in the suburbs, and then she started working on Broadway. This is the beginning now of the not like other girls rhetoric. And I don't necessarily want to blame Lea Michele for this because again, this book was written in like 2014. Pretending you weren't like other girls in 2014 was basically currency for a woman. I don't want to blame a woman for existing within an oppressive structure and just kind of doing her thing. But reading it now, this book is so of its time because in almost every chapter, Lea Michele will be like, other girls were doing this. Silly, dumb, shopping boys. I was doing this. Quirky, interesting, smart, intelligent. Half of this book can be watered down to other girls. Bad, stupid, me, interesting, smart. Well, some of my friends were living in the world of 90210 with cute boys and tons of hairspray. I was living in the world of the Wizard of Oz with singing trees and ruby slippers. The timeline of this book is absolutely insane. She like jumps back and forth constantly. I'm trying to make it chronological so you can understand what happened in this book. It might not happen. She talks about how in middle school, elementary school, her passion for musical theater started because she saw no girls like her in the media. So her mom put on old Barbra Streisand movies and West Side Story. And that's how she saw herself. That's great. I think that's an interesting story. A lot of people would probably want to know why you got your start, Lea Michele. So explain to me why the 2 photos accompanying this story are the most harrowing negative pictures I've ever seen in my life. Why does it have to be this horror show? When she took time off from Broadway, again, the chronology of this book, it doesn't exist. She started debate. She said she loved debate and wanted to become a lawyer. She was talking about how her and her debate partner would just kill it because they were like cute little girlies dressing up, having a good time. And then she says, I went back to Broadway to be on Fiddler in the Roof, so my debate partner had to replace me with Ben Shapiro. Readers, when I read this, my heart stopped. But then I looked it up and it's not the same Ben Shapiro, and I was devastated. But it really, there was a moment there where I was like, Lea Michele and Ben Shapiro went to the same high school. But it didn't happen. This is when she starts talking about her career. This book needed an edit of being like, the order in which these events take place makes no goddamn sense. Because she starts talking about her parents, then she goes into her high school days and is like, more on my Broadway career later. Then talks about debate. Now she's going to Broadway. And she started being on Broadway when she was like 10. So it's just whiplash. So Lea Michele got her big break starring as Cosette in Les Mis on Broadway. She went to an open call because her best friend Chloe wanted to audition and she tagged along. Chloe, flop. Like, Chloe did not book it. Lea booked it. Where is Chloe now? This is Chloe's Joker origin story. That's all I know. She then kind of tries to paint her childhood experience on Broadway as a hardship, which I love. There's literally nothing I love more than a victim complex. It's so entertaining to read. So after she was in Les Mis, she outgrew her part, then got a job in Ragtime on Broadway. That show closed, and after that she was like, I'm gonna go to high school and be normal for a bit. She does debate with Ben Shapiro, iconic. All of her peers love 90210 and cute boys. She loves Wizard of Oz. You're tracking, right? Then her agent calls her and says, hey, Do you want to be in Fiddler on the Roof? And this was apparently a trauma for Leah because she was so used to being the lead and getting her own dressing room, and she played the third daughter in Fiddler on the Roof, and she had to share a dressing room with other people, and that was hard because she couldn't meditate before the show. Isn't that the saddest shit you've ever heard in your life? And then one day, I had to share a dressing room with so many other women. And you know these other women are like 23-year-old chorus girls trying to break it in the business, and there's like a 17-year-old complaining that she's not playing the lead anymore. Like, those girls are fighting for their lives to not punch a child. Traumas in her Broadway career that she talks about is how she didn't book Maria in West Side Story because Maria is her dream role and it's all she wanted to play, and she was like, I cannot believe they wouldn't cast me. And it was just a trauma for her. And Maria in West Side Story is fully a Latina. Like, she's a Latina. Like, that's the whole thing in West Side Story, that like it's gang warfare between the white gang and the Latin gang. She then talks about what she's learned from working on Broadway. And I want to read this to you, and I want you to remember that this is the Lea Michele that has gotten called out for telling someone she wants to shit in their wig. Like, keep that in your brain. Remember that? Just like anyone on an interdependent team at the office, when you're an actor, you work very closely with other people. So it's crucial that you find ways to relate to them. Long days are much more fun when the atmosphere is friendly. In short, it's basic office politics. Be genuinely kind to everyone. They'll look out for you. Plus, you never know where people are going to end up. The young assistant will very likely be a powerful producer someday. The intern might eventually become your agent. I love that. I love trying to explain kindness by being like, you never know what random working class person that's below you might someday be your boss. It's like, you could also just be nice. You could just be nice. They could probably just be nice. After she talks about her career, she starts to really lose steam with things to write about. Like, we have this section that's just a few of my favorite things. Funny Girl, Almost Famous, the movie, Spring Awakening, musical she was in, Les Mis, a musical she was in. Like, she's starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel. Apropos of nothing, she just starts talking about self-care. She starts having hair mask recipes, face mask recipes, random recipes for food, exercise chapters. Then we enter into the food chapter, and I'm gonna level with you, I skimmed this because the disordered eating talk was in the building. You know what I mean? Like, it was ready to rumble. But it's just a lot of, look, there are days when I need to eat junk food. I'm just like everyone else. But that's only a cheat day. And every other day, I need to make sure that I'm staying on top of my game. She talks about like gaining 5 pounds during Glee. It's so bleak. She then also takes up 2 pages to just list 11 snacks I always have on hand. I always pack my own lunch for work. The craft services table is packed with naughty things. Here are some of her snacks: grapes, seaweed, kale chips, tzatziki, carrots. Like, it's just a lot. And her fan base is young, and it's made me really uncomfortable. There was also like what I eat in a day in this chapter. I went to high school with a lot of girls who unfortunately had issues with food and struggled with eating disorders. While I completely understand why girls think they need to alter their appearance to fit in, looking like everyone else would be the worst thing you can do to yourself. Lea Michele taking on eating disorders, ending eating disorders, you heard it here first. She then has an exercise chapter that I skipped. The only thing I want to highlight here is that she has a couple of like examples of like workout circuits to do. And they are the most green screened fucking photos I've ever seen in my life. Then we get to the fashion chapter, which is literally iconic. We get a not like other girls shout out again. I don't believe that girls need to own 8,000 pairs of shoes and 6,000 bags. I'll usually invest in 1 nice bag per year, which is like way more than everyone else. And I also love fashion. Like, if I had the bag, I would own 9 different pairs of Prada loafers. I would own Tom Brown suits in every fucking color. But if you're gonna have a fashion chapter, I'm so fine with you talking about clothes, especially if you're like famous actress who gets to wear beautiful dresses on the red carpet. And she talks about her Oscar de la Renta phase and like some of the gowns she wore, which I actually ate up. Thank you, mommy. But she is insistent on pretending to be relatable when she's not. So the disconnect is so insane. She then talks about her fashion tips. She says she's just a blue jeans, white t-shirt kind of gal. She then says that one of her big splurges is a Balenciaga bag. Don't know why I said it like that, but it rolled off the tongue, and I'm obsessed. And she says that this Balenciaga bag is a great thing to spend money on. And you should only spend money on accessories because accessories aren't trendy like clothes. This is the Balenciaga bag she is talking about. This is the timeless bag she's talking about. This looks like you can buy it from Wet Seal at the mall for $8. I don't really care about like buying purses that much. And even when I buy a purse, actually all I care about is the fact that it's timeless and it's like a pink clutch. Obsessed. She then has a chapter all about friendship. And here's really when I get fucking pissed about this book. I mean, honestly, I'm in the trenches. I just had to read like 20 pages of just eating disorder fodder, had to fight for my fucking life while she's talking about this. Is there a raccoon in my... There's a coyote in my backyard. So if this video never gets published, it's because I've been eaten alive. I was already fighting for my fucking life in the trenches with that fashion chapter. And then this chapter happens, and this is why I'm pissed. In this chapter, she talks about her friends, whatever, absolute bullshit, has like a 2.5-page spread about like fun night out ideas you can do with your friends. Going to the spa, having a road trip, trying a new restaurant, just bullshit. But then she tells the story of how she met her best friend Stephanie because she was a casting intern when she was auditioning for Glee. And this story, albeit written for somebody with the reading level of an 8-year-old, is a genuinely very interesting story. Lea Michele was driving to the Fox lot, gets in a car crash, the windshield shatters, goes into the audition room, and they're like, you don't have to audition today. Like, you can come in tomorrow because you're covered in glass. And she's like, no. I'm auditioning today. Just give me 5 minutes. She goes to the bathroom. Stephanie, the intern, comes in and is like, hey, do you want water or anything? And she's like, can you help me pick glass out of my hair? Stephanie does. They're best friends for life. Like, that story is interesting. So I'm like, you have interesting stories. You just seem unable to share them. She then talks about Glee. They put the Glee chapter at the very end of this book because they know what everyone's reading the book for. It's about 7 pages. It's nothing. I want more stories from the set of Glee. Like, that's all I want to fucking read about. Apparently there is a trailer on the set of Glee. This is not in the book. This is from like reading gossip columns and shit. But apparently in the first and second season, everyone on the Glee cast was fucking each other so much that they had a designated trailer to fuck in because it was getting so out of hand. They'd also show up to work drunk all the time. Like, that's the juice I want. Talk about the fuck trailer. Also, before Glee, Lea Michele dated Matthew Morrison, Crime Against Humanity, and there's nothing about that. Lea, that's what I want. One of the last paragraphs in this book, the most iconic sentence I've ever read in my life. I try not to set limits for myself anymore because the original limits that I set were proven completely wrong. Here I am now. I have the lead on a TV show, I have a L'Oreal campaign, and I've been on the cover of some of my favorite beauty magazines. So here's a big fat middle finger to the lady who told me to get my nose done. All in all, this book is garbage. It's written as a cash grab. She didn't have enough content. She obviously doesn't care about writing. It's written with no self-awareness. This is an insult to a book. This is a glorified magazine. It's absolutely insane. If you're going to be a diva, if you're going to be a menace to society, rude to everyone on set, write a scathing memoir where you talk shit. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if there's any other like iconic celebrity memoirs you want me to read and break down so you don't have to read this absolute garbage. My Instagram, TikTok, all of that fun stuff will be in the description below. I'll see you soon. Take care of yourself. Bye.